Hello, I'm Kelly McFarland, and you're listening to Diplomatic Community from the Institute for the Study of Diplomacy at Georgetown University. Welcome to Season 8 of Diplomatic Community. This season, throughout a number of episodes, we're going to be speaking about something near and dear to my heart. As many of our regular listeners will know, because I probably mention it about every third episode, I regularly teach a course here at Georgetown called History's Influence on Foreign Affairs. Historical knowledge and a historical sensibility is crucial to success for a diplomat or foreign policy practitioner, as well as to being a good, informed citizen. It is just as important to understand how nation-states, politicians, world leaders, non-state actors, and national polities use history on a daily basis for their own political purposes, whether they be domestic or foreign, and these two oftentimes blend together. From the 1919 Treaty of Versailles to the Munich and Vietnam analogies, to China's current use of history to make claims over the South China Sea and Taiwan, among other areas, and to Vladimir Putin's warped sense of history to justify his illegal invasion of Ukraine, history is an ever-present factor in today's world. Over the course of the next handful of episodes, we will explore aspects of what history is, how it's interpreted, and who decides how it's interpreted. We will explore the underappreciated importance and power of myths in our everyday lives and in the broader scope of foreign affairs. We'll also dive into the questions of how we can learn from history, how it affects international affairs, and what kinds of lessons learned policymakers can derive from history, and why. And finally, what use or analogies. While my course and this season is meant to focus on the role of history in foreign policy, as in my class, we will touch on a number of domestic examples in both the United States and abroad to help us understand the broader phenomenon. The tools and methods are the same, and oftentimes the stories we tell ourselves domestically play a large role in foreign affairs and determine how we view ourselves not only at home, but also on the world stage, for better or worse. History rests on interpretation. The use of more and new facts and sources over decades, along with new ways of looking at old sources, provides us with multiple different interpretations of historical events and people. This is what drives the historical field forward. At the same time, though, it is also what makes history malleable and easily prone to misuse and myth-making. This is why it's so important to have a historical sensibility and the critical thinking skills that go along with it. We all probably don't know the detailed historical facts or chronology of an important historical event in question, but we should have the critical thinking skills to know that we should have an inkling of who the author is, where they're coming from, what their sources are, and so on. In today's social media landscape, with rampant misinformation and disinformation, these skills are more imperative than ever. And it provides a bit of humility for those who realize that they won't know everything about a certain historical event or long-simmering historical feud just because they watched a 5-minute video on TikTok or YouTube. When faced with today's post-truth world and alternative facts, the task of trying to discern the truth can seem daunting. But it's a challenge we must face head-on and with enthusiasm, for understanding history is to better understand ourselves, our society, and our world. As the famed historian E.H. Carr noted in his 1961 Trevelyan lectures at Cambridge University, the past is intelligible to us only in the light of the present, and we can fully understand the present only in the light of the past. To enable man to understand the society of the past and to increase his mastery over the society of the present is the dual function of history. I couldn't agree more. So, I hope you'll join us for this upcoming season. I'm especially excited for our next episode, where we'll dive into a general overview of how history is used and misused with famed historian Margaret MacMillan. So buckle up, folks. It's going to be an interesting ride. I'm Kelly McFarland. Until we meet again.